Hi, and welcome to another installment of Math Basics with Mr. Besh. Today we're going to make sense of percents without using calculators. Now make no mistakes about it, calculators are very important when we calculate our percents. But not every time we're going to have a calculator, so it comes in handy to know how to actually compute percents without using the machine. You might say, well, why? Why would we want to do this? Well, number one, it's great for any time you want to do any approximations. For instance, you're walking in the mall, you see something on sale, and you want to know exactly how much it's going to cost you to buy that item. Or better yet, you're with your parents, you're sitting at a table or restaurant, you get the bill, and you want to know or help out your parents exactly how much am I going to leave for a tip that should be appropriate. Well, the way we do this is the following. You give you an example problem. Like, what is 20% of 63.5? The technique we are going to use is going to be similar throughout. The first thing that you always do is you find 10% first. And to do this, you simply move the decimal place 1 unit to the left. That's it. That's all you got to do. So now 63.5, 10% of that is 6.35. Now, the next thing you got to do is 20% is just double 10%. So 6.35 added to another 6.35 gives us our answer, which is 12.70. Or, if you prefer to multiply, 6.35 times 2 gives you 12.7. And this is how you actually calculate percents without using your calculator. A couple side notes that we have here. For instance, if the question was asking, well, how would you find 30%? Well, simple. You just multiply by 3 or add the value to itself 3 times. And the same thing goes for 40%. Times it by 4, add it to itself 4 times. Another side note is, what if you had to find a denomination like 15%? Well, you simply got to take half of 10% to find 5%. Common sense. Then add the 10% and the 5% to make you 15. So if 6.35 in the problem was 10%, then half of that would be 3.175. And then the 10 and the 5 add up to be 9.525. Now, obviously, if you're sitting there at a restaurant and you're walking, you're in a store in the mall, you wouldn't round out to the thousands place in your decimals. You could make it real simple by rounding to the 10 spot. That's absolutely fine. You could have simply said, 6.35, half of that is like 3.17. That's it. All right? Make things easier for yourselves because, like I said, when we started out, approximations are the key to doing this. Another side note is if you ever had to find 1%. This is a big mistake that students tend to do. I show them that if they move the decimal place 1 unit to the left, that's 10%. Well, now students think if they move it twice, they find 20. That's incorrect. If you move it twice, you're actually finding what 1% is going to be. So if my number was 63.5, then 1% of that is going to be 0.635. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is that. I hope you found this video both helpful and informative.